Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, Google+, also on Periscope at Total Tutor, NeilHaley.com. So many different places to connect with me. Just Google me, you'll find me. But excited always when I get to go in the television studio, especially monthly with Coach Karen Hall, WPL Hall of Famer.
Yes.
You know, if you're running Rev, an ESPN analyst, and we have an interesting guest, another interesting one, and it's great that we take in different components.
Yes.
The week before we had an athlete that went on to play professional basketball and coached, but did so many different things. But then we see the specific people who mentor superstars or soon to be very known players and stuff. And then you looked at that a couple months ago, the same thing when you with the whole Pan Am thing and stuff. So you bring, but it all goes back to Oznem, doesn't it?
Oznem is a bridge and it spans global, not just domestic, global. So today I'd like to welcome Coach Robert Cash to our show. He's the head coach of the Bruins AAU team and an assistant coach at Penn Hills High School. Coach Cash, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
All right, well, Coach, we're going to get right into it. So we know we're going to get to the AAU championship. We're going to hold on to that. But we first want to talk about you. So talk about your athletic career and which ball you picked up, whether the small baseball, whether the bouncing ball, the basketball. Talk to us about your background.
Well, I went on to college and
where did you go?
Went to Keystone College. Went there to play baseball. Had an injury before I got there. Ended up never getting back to where I was at. So ended up playing basketball. Played there for 3 years and had a good career. Met a lot of good people. Played for a great coach who taught me a lot of good things. And ended up going on and coaching once I got done playing.
Okay, so why basketball?
Because once I got to college, I really enjoyed it a lot. Playing for my college coach, Mark Smith, you know, some of the places he took us and the things that he taught me while being a player and some of the coaching things he taught me, I really enjoyed. So I decided once I got back home that, you know, basketball would not only help me with a career, that I could also help some kids growing up in the city become special people and learn different things and go to different places.
So Keystone, what league was it in? And division was where you played ball?
Well, the year before I got to Keystone, it was a junior college, and they had transitioned over to Division III. But the baseball program was a big-time program, so that's why I decided to go there for baseball. Ended up playing basketball. Basketball-wise, is one of the top Division III schools, you know, around on the East Coast. So we played big-time basketball, had some big-time games. Like I said, I met a lot of people from state to state.
And what teams were in the conference with you in Division III at Keystone?
That's a good question. Some teams out of New Jersey, teams out of New York.
The Mammoth, not Monmouth, that's Division I, but I'm thinking of some of the Division III.
I can't remember. It was a lot of different schools. Rowan was a big-time program we played. Cayuga, I think it was called, out of New York. It was a lot of big-time programs.
So any players that you can remember that maybe gone on to play professionally, internationally? Anyone that you played against or played with in your Division III career?
It's a good question. You know, the players I play against, you know, once we get done playing, I don't follow them too much. It's always about me and my players.
Gotcha.
So a lot of my friends now just have different careers. You know, have families now. So, you know, they play when they can.
Yeah.
You know, we still keep a connection and talk all the time.
So basketball was beginning to be a vital part of your career. But in the midst of your college career, we always like to hear about the balance between academics and athletics, because you can go and play any sport, but in order to be eligible, you have to maintain grades. So can you talk about how you were able to balance academics and athletics for yourself during your basketball career, growing up in collegiately?
Collegiately, you know, our coaches gave us time to make sure we got our work done. We worked together to get our work done. It wasn't easy, but, you know, found time to get it done and you know, had to make sure that our work was done to make sure we were eligible to play because, you know, as a team, you know, every player is needed. So losing one player because of grades was very important to us. And we had a close relationship. So, you know, when we needed each other as far as getting work done or getting help in a class or figuring out which teacher was a good teacher for us, we communicated that with each other. So we had my college-wise, we had a real good bond with each other, and I believe that it helped all of us succeed at the college.
Did you have academic advisors? Were you all in a study hall program through your men's basketball team? What kind of mechanisms were in place, along with you all having this close bond to be academically successful?
We had a really good academic advisor who helped us out a whole lot. We were all pretty good, so we really didn't need to have study hall type of thing.
Okay.
Coach made sure he stayed on top of us in our grades. If we needed it, we was able to get tutoring and things through the university. But we were pretty good, so we didn't have much issue as far as not being eligible and things like that. But when it was crunch time, we worked together to make sure, look, we're not going to lose you because of this situation. Whether it was helping each other out or figuring out how to get things done, we made sure we got it done.
So you came in with a mindset. You came in academically. You're going to take care of your academic business, and you're going to take care of your athletic end.
Yes, because for the most part, coming in, that was part of the reason why most of us was at that type of university because we had to figure out how to get it done in the classroom as well as athletically. So at that point in time in our life, we were all able to work together to say we might have not got it done before, but we're not going to continue to let it happen. And we just worked together and got it done and helped each other out and it was basically we were the support of each other.
So when you were there, did you have an idea that that's what you want to do as coach?
No, I had no idea. I kind of knew I wanted to do something with sports and recreation. Never thought it would be basketball. It ended up being basketball late in my career. At the school, me and my coach sat down and we did talking and some scouting and worked some things together. And at that point in time, I said, this is something I'd like to do, and I decided to continue it once I graduated.
So how did you get into coaching? How did that all start? We know where you are now, but take us to how and why coaching.
Well, when I first got back to Pittsburgh from Scranton at college, I first worked with my friend Ace at Penn State McKeesport.
Okay.
So I worked there for 2 years.
Were you an assistant?
Yes, I was an assistant to him.
Men's or women's?
Men's.
Okay.
Worked with him for 2 years. Then I ended up moving on to Older Dice with Andre McDonald and Jason Rivers, and I was assistant coach there with them for 4 years. And then after the 4 years there with them, I moved on to Penn Hills, and I've been at Penn Hills for 4 years with John Tate.
But Older Dice was boys.
Yes, Older Dice was boys.
And Penn Hills has been girls the whole time.
Been girls the whole time.
You made a transition.
Yes.
So what was that transition like for you?
The transition really from Older Dice to Penn Hills really wasn't a big transition.
Boys and girls, coaching boys and girls.
Okay, from boys to girls really wasn't a big transition because I was already coaching girls AAU.
Okay.
So I kind of already had the understanding of what it took to coach girls basketball. So the transition from Older Dice boys to Penn Hills girls wasn't that big of a transition because I already had an idea of what I needed to do.
So for our viewers that are thinking about, well, I coach boys, I've never coached girls, but I have this opportunity. What are the similarities and what are some differences that you've noticed in your career? You've coached both. And now you deal mainly with girls.
They both, if you can communicate and get an understanding with your players, they both will play hard for you.
Right.
Boys a little different. I can put my boys out there and tell them I need a basket, and they're gonna figure out how to go get me a basket. Right. My girls, I got to put them in position and kind of draw something up and kind of give them an idea of what I'm looking for and what I want, and they'll go get it done. But them are some of the differences that I have in boys and girls. But like I said, as long as you got a communication with them and they understand that you're trying to do what's best for them, they'll go out and they'll play hard. And I think that's the most important part with basketball is as long as they're playing hard, good things will happen for your team. Right. And that's why good things have always happened for the teams that I usually coach. Definitely,
and you saw the transitions because of going on to Penn Hills for girls because of AAU being the AAU coach, coaching girls in AAU.
Yes. I've been coaching them for a long time, so it was just an easy transition for me, and I really enjoyed coaching the girls. So I looked at it as another opportunity to transition from one to the other and just kind of get a feel for girls high school basketball because it's a little different than AAU basketball.
Yes. How's it different?
It's different because at AAU, you kind of recruit your players to come play for you, and it's not kind of up to you, but you could either have some of the best players, you can have some of the worst players, or you can have some of the in-between players. Where high school, you take what your school has.
Right.
And you gotta,
Are you sure? There's no recruiting in high school?
There's recruiting, but not on my end. At high school, I enjoy, taking what I got and making it better.
Okay, good.
So that's the best part about it is, you get with a group of kids and they stick together from 7th grade until they graduate from high school, and you're either going to make them better as a coach, or you're going to make them worse as a coach, or that in between. But I enjoy taking the kids and just getting an understanding with them and enjoying to be around them, enjoying the atmosphere, and just continue to make the kids better until they reach their talent point.
What are your and what we're hearing are some of his philosophies. So is there any one or a few specific philosophies that when you're coaching, period, this is what you want to make sure that you work to have happen for your players?
That I want to happen for them.
From maybe getting them to college, or if they're 7th grade, helping them make the varsity. Like, what are some of your goals as a coach?
Is to give them as much as I can, as far as like working out, different, making sure they work hard. Okay. Making sure they're on time, making sure they show up.
Right.
Okay. Help letting them understand that this is important for you. I did this already. I did this before. So this ain't about me. This is about you and the opportunities that you want. If you want to play at the next level, you'll be here every single day.
Right.
Great.
If you don't care about being at the next level, you're still going to be here every day.
Right.
And you're talking AAU when you have those conversations?
I talk high school and AAU.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where we're at. No matter where they're at, it's an opportunity for them.
Do you see the motivation of them wanting to go on to play college basketball for either Penn Hills or AAU, that they had that as a big motivation for them?
Yes, a lot of them would like to play at the next level, whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III. Most of them do want to play at the next level, and I let them know, no matter where you're playing at, you're going to get a good opportunity.
Right.
And also it's good on your resume, that a job opportunity for you sees that, see how hard you worked in college to get that opportunity to play there, because it's not easy. Everybody wants to win. So it just lets you know how hard they had to work to get to where they're at today.
So when you're talking about that to these kids, having played at Division III, because most of them has that lure of Division I. Talented, you definitely have talent. But do you expose them to the opportunity other than Division I? Like, do you let them know that there's more than just?
I do, because I had some opportunities to possibly play Division I baseball when I got out of high school. So, I talked to them a lot about, I had an opportunity, didn't take advantage of it. I ended up where I ended up at, but I made the best of the opportunity I had. And the position that I'm in now is a good position, because I have an opportunity to help others, understand that I had an opportunity I didn't take advantage of. You have a choice, and I can help you understand that I didn't take advantage of my opportunity, but, to still get to where I'm at today, I think is very special. And I let them know that I'm here to help you get to where I didn't go.
Okay.
And then if you don't get to where I was at, where I ended up at still was a good position, because I still played a high level of basketball. I still played with some really good players. I played with people who was on a Division I roster, played Division I basketball, played Division II basketball, ended up where I was at. And we had a really good team, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Played for a great coach who now works at Akron University.
Okay.
My assistant coach is now at, I believe, Tennessee State or somewhere. Okay. So my college coaches are somewhere within the Division I ranks at this point in time. Nice. So I felt like I came from a very good situation that ended up being the best thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we get back, we're going to go with more Coach Robert Cash. We'll go into the AAU process. I want to know, the motivation. I'm hearing different things about AAU. Right. You can tell us why it's a good thing, why it's an opportunity, and why you need it in a lot of ways to continue to perfect your game so you get that opportunity to go and play at the next level. You're watching The Neil Haley Show. When we get back, more Coach Robert Cash. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the voice of Mr. Bold of BPTV, here to explain the basic do's and don'ts of BPTV and public access television. Number 1, public access television. Public access means that BPTV's facilities and equipment are available for any Bethel Park resident or organization to use for the purpose of making a TV program to air on our station. Number 2, not-for-profit. The nice part about this is that all of our equipment and facilities are available absolutely free of charge. Do not come to BPTV with the intention of starting your own home shopping network. Feel free to bring in your favorite waffle iron and demonstrate how it works, but do not ask Mr. Bold to help you sell your favorite waffle iron to the fine residents of Bethel Park. That will not happen. Number 3, volunteer-based production. Bethel Park Public Access Television has a friendly and helpful volunteer staff that will help you make your TV show. You are also encouraged to supply an individual who is willing to be trained on the equipment to help you tape your program. So, do expect to have all the resources and support you need to make a TV show that you will be proud of. Do not call us up like a station for hire and expect us to do everything for you. Number 4, your point of view. BPTV does not dictate or edit your program idea for content. The producer is responsible for the perspective, information, and all content included in their show. BPTV encourages you to make the type of shows you want to watch. However, Mr. Bold would like to remind you that freedom of speech is not the same as freedom from responsibility for what you say. You can say, "You, Dave Cable," but don't be surprised if you get beeped. Obscenity, threats, and slander are not protected under the First Amendment. So, do make the show that you want to watch. Do not be a schmuckatelli about it.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show with Coach Karen Hall and Coach Robert Cash, and we're learning about the whole process. And I know we could talk about being an assistant at Penn Hills, but being a head coach of an AAU and looking at what Coach said, the reason why she brought you in is because, again, of the success of your players going on to play in the next level. How did you bring that together, that the kids that you recruited to play AAU have that opportunity to play Division I, and a lot of them do have that opportunity? How did that go about? It's a lot of years of doing it to understand it, right? To be able to get the right players to say, I want to play for you.
Yes, it was a lot of work. We've been working since, for a lot of years. We just worked every single day. Even during the off season, we took our kids, we kept them together. We worked out 3 to 4 times a week. A whole lot of skill work, a whole lot of drills, a whole lot of building their skill and their basketball minds to understand, what it took to get to the next level. And we worked as hard as we could every day. And that was when they were in middle school.
Okay.
Once they got to high school, we had to back off a little bit because high school programs are so, more high tech these days. We backed off just a little bit, but we still got our work in 2 to 3 times a week. And so it's just, and the off season was a lot of skill work, whether it was dribbling and shooting, the feet work, the different moves. We just worked as much as we could to get them, to where they needed to be. And I think, around here, once people notice how hard we work with our kids and the things that we gave our kids and the success that our kids were having, more people decided they wanted to be a part of it.
Okay. And why the name the Bruins? Is that because of the your nearest? If it's Penn Hills, is that one reason close to the St. Bart's thing, or is it the Bruins, or why Bruins?
Why the Bruins? The Bruins have been one of the top AAU programs in Western PA since the 80s. Yes. So the Bruins name have been on top of Western PA for 20 or 30 years. Right. And it's hard not to incorporate that name, what it has built. If not, you got to start at the bottom. You got to work your way back up to the top, which, is not an issue. Right. But when you got a program that's already at the top and you can, come in with them and, you could be right there, which you're already built and is right there already at the top, why not go ahead and work with, somebody that's already there, and going to help you understand the ropes of being at the top and just take it and use it.
So the Bruins pretty much merged because it was the Western PA Bruins, Pittsburgh Power, and then
why the name Bruins?
The Wildcats.
You know history?
They brought it together.
I know a little bit about the history, but The Bruins and the Pittsburgh Power merged first.
Okay.
We came together and we had a pretty good program going. And the Pittsburgh Wildcats had a pretty good program going herself, and we was just going back and forth with each other competing. And then we looked at it and said, listen, y'all got some of the better kids, we got some of the better kids. Why have two organizations running around here with some of the better kids, and we could all have the best kids and be the best?
Smart.
And make it a national thing, put the Bruins back on top of, AAU basketball. And, the great minds came together and put it together and said, you know what, this is what we need to do. Because, a lot of our teams, we had the top players maybe 1 through 5, but, at AAU, once you get to 6, 7, 8, 9, it makes a difference.
Yes.
So we combined the 3 programs. 2 programs already combined. The 3rd program came right along. And ever since then, we have been one of the best AAU programs up and down the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, everywhere.
Yeah. So, and they do have the best players. We're going to get to Coach Cash and his whole recruiting thing. But this past summer, talk about some of the players that you had on the team that went on to win the national championship and what high school, and you can even talk about some of the recruitment at this point.
Man, this year's team was pretty amazing. They did some really good things. Some of the players we had, I guess I'll start at the top. Our point guard was Desiree Oliver, another Penn Hills kid. Desiree's an interesting kid because she has actually played for me since she was in the 5th grade. AAU,
oh, wow.
And she played high school for me, and she has been a great kid to coach. Plays hard. When she plays, she leaves it all on the court. She's being recruited big time. She has been one of the best players in the nation. She has been one of the best players since she's been playing, but she's being recruited big time. George Washington, Temple. I know we talked to LSU. We have talked to Texas A&M. Then we have talked to like Cleveland State and Toledo, but her recruiting has picked up big time.
Where does she play high school ball?
She plays for me at Penn Hills.
At Penn Hills, okay.
Yeah, she plays at Penn Hills. She's our point guard there also, and she was a Fab 5 player this year.
She was.
She's a Fab 5 player. She has made first team all section since her freshman year. She has led us to the championship 2 years ago, and we lost in the Final Four this past season. So she has helped Penn Hills merge from being. 2 years before she got there, Penn Hills, I understand, was 3-19. That was the year before I got there.
Oh my.
And then the first year I got there, we were 9-13, made the playoffs. Her first year, we got over 500. We have been over 500 ever since then.
She's like 5'6" point guard.
Yeah, she's like about 5'6", 5'7" point guard. Nice strong body, finishing traffic, has a good jump shot. And is a really good defender. So she does a lot of good things on the court as well as lead the team. She does all the good things you need in your point guard to lead a really good team.
How about Darrell Porter, University of Pittsburgh star? He has a daughter. You want to talk about his daughter that plays for Coach Cash?
Michaela Porter, another kid that I love. That I'm gonna be upset that I'm losing this year. She brings a lot of different things to the table. She could play 5 different positions. She could do what I need her to do when she steps on the court. I could ask her to guard anybody. She doesn't, why I got to guard this person. She takes, whatever I give her to do, she goes and gets it done. She could score the basketball. She could rebound the basketball. She could guard the other team's toughest players, big, small.
Oh, wow.
She's a nightmare for the other team to guard. And she allowed us to do many different things with her because she's so big. She's about 5'11", 6 foot. She has a nice, strong body. So we could post her up against smaller players. We could take her outside against bigger players. She could shoot jump shots. She could finish in the lane. She does so many other good things. She was another really important piece to the puzzle that made it work for us this year.
Who's recruiting Michaela?
Michaela's been recruited by Memphis, Old Dominion, Detroit Mercer, Cleveland State, Akron, a lot of Manhattan, a lot of them schools. So she at one point in time had a lot of offers. So she's doing really well in the recruiting process.
And she's a rising senior at Obama.
Obama High School. Yeah, she goes to Obama High School. She went to Obama Middle School, changed over to the high school, and has been a very good player for them from day one till the day she leaves. But she has done a lot of good things in the City League. I want to say might have been City League Player of the Year every year she's been there.
She was this year.
And I want to say she won a championship every year. She's been there at least 2 out of 3 years. Wow. She's a champion.
Yeah.
She knows how to win, and she finds a way to win, so she gets it done.
So, Coach Cash, how does he know about their recruitment? Because his phone is always charging. because he's always on the phone. So talk about how these college coaches are coming through you in terms of these high school student athletes being recruited. How does that work for you?
It works. It's an exciting process. When my kids first started getting recruited, it was an amazing thing to me. Like, oh, I'm talking to a college coach. Where, once I talked to them and I learned the process, and they just wanted me.
Were you in awe in the beginning?
At the beginning, I was.
Yeah.
I was in awe, and I'm still a little bit. I get in awe from time to time when LSU calls my telephone, or I talk to a Texas A&M. I'm like, man, I watch these teams on TV all the time play. So just to see them have an opportunity to recruit my kids, and the level of basketball we play and the teams we play and the respect we get from coaches on the AAU level is very important to me, because I receive a lot of phone calls about coaches enjoying to watch our kids play. Where they're like, well, some teams, I don't like to play because it's all one-on-one and they do this and they do that, where, your team plays together and they play hard and they leave it on the court and they play for each other. And, I watch them in between games and they're enjoying being around each other. And, the group seems like they're pretty tight. And I'm like, man, the group is tight. They love each other. Like one thing I love about my kids is not only are they friends at the AAU level, they're friends at high school. So, when they're playing against each other, watching them play, they're on the court joking and grabbing each other's shorts and bumping each other and joking around. To where they're calling each other, how did your game go and how is things going? Good luck in your championship game. I'll be at your game. So the support that they give each other all year round, for me, I think is the most important part, because I see a bond and I see love and I see caring for, each other, where I don't think in the past, for AAU teams, you don't really get that much caring for each other. But the group of kids that I have and I have had in the past, because it's a building process. It ain't like it just started this year. It's been happening with my kids year after year, and a build process where they have learned from each other. So it's really enjoyable to see these kids and see how they enjoy each other, and they enjoy me and my assistant coach, who's Alicia Johnson, and Tate. John Tate, who's our director, and even our other coaches. Anytime one of our coaches is around, just to see the joy that my kids have to be a part of the program is really important to me.
Very nice. Very nice.
And winning.
And winning
The championship, right?
Yes.
They got the gold. In our Olympic summer national championship, Bruins brought home the gold.
Yes. And it was an amazing thing for us. Coming into the tournament, I knew there was a really good team out of Texas. There was a team out of Oklahoma that was good. There was a team out of Seattle, Washington that was good. There was another good out of New Mexico that was really good, that had some top-tier Yukon and Tennessee type of kids on it. But in the end, I knew my kids were tough enough, they were strong enough, and they had the will to go out and win. And I knew, in the end, we could win it if we left it on the line, and they went and beat some top talent, some top teams, and winning one of them Adidas Gauntlet National Championship was really important to our program and to our city. I thought it was important for our city because, from what I understand, Western PA went from having a top talent in the early 90s that were the Bruin teams to where we were down for a little while. Now we're back on top, and just to see Pittsburgh, my city, back on top of the AAU world was very important to me, and I really love it for our program in our city.
And I know we're running short, but Coach Cash is related to Swin Cash. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, and that relationship is she's my first cousin. Yeah, she's my first cousin. WNBA.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, best place we can find information on you. Do you have a place, like, do you follow you guys for Twitter or anything?
Yes, we have our at Western PA Bruins AAU Twitter site. I have my own Twitter site, Money with 2 Y's 13.
Okay.
But Western PA Bruins is there, and then you'll find everything you need about the Western PA Bruins, our kids' recruitment, and everything right there on our Bruins website.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach Cass, for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck in the season.
Nice work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was the Neil Haley Show. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.